Okay, so Tim broke my baler.
He did it.
What?
You did it.
I did not.
Good, too.
Actually, I did. But this guy over here, he's so pissed off, it's just funny. Anyway, the shaft at the end of the other end is broken. And we have to take everything apart. Everything. We have to take everything apart. And it's kind of got me a little bit on the upset side because this sucks. That paint that's on there is a nightmare. Hey. Hey.
That's why I like using the other one.
What other one?
The other socket.
What other socket?
The 12-sided socket works better. The 6-sided socket...
No. They actually work better.
No, they don't.
Well, they don't for you because you're backwards. You were born backwards.
Shut up.
They pulled you out by your feet.
Shut up!
I'm not happy. Forceps on him, and that's what's wrong. It hit his growth hormones, and he just... Don't throw my poly guards at them. These things are supposed to be like super duper. Anyway, we're fixing. Next morning. I didn't want to start torching on this thing, at night because, as you can see, it's dry and it's full of hay, and I really don't want to set the thing on fire. But anyway, what I have to do, I think they put Loctite on that bearing, because I cannot get it to move. And I got hay built up here, which isn't too god-awful abnormal, it's there. So what I'm gonna do is, in that red case is a Sawzall. I'm gonna saw that shaft off of there. And then that should fall away, and I had a hell of a time finding a bearing. I knew I had one, I just didn't know where. But it took me a little bit of time, and I got it. So before breakfast, I decided I'm going to get this thing at least 3/4 of the way apart, at least the reel off of it and the tine bars, and I'll send Timothy to replacing tines in the tine bars. Yeah, because they all have to come off, all of them. They all got all those 4 discs. These bars have to come off the discs before I can even get at this thing. I'm not sure whether I'm going to have to cut them here because it's been painted, and when you paint these things, it makes it really difficult to get the discs on and off of it. So it's gonna be a little bit of a job, but I got a cutting wheel on that, or a Sawzall or chop saw in the shop there. Well, I see there's one tine there that isn't quite right, and I don't know why, but we'll get it straightened out. You can see it down there on the end. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just gonna start tearing this thing apart here and cut it off and see what happens. And these little things. I don't know if anybody that's ever owned a New Holland piece of equipment knows what this is. It's called a gib key. What a piece of shit. I mean, this is like a wedge type key, and the only thing that holds it in there is imagination. So you put the shaft on there, and then this thing here is supposed to wedge it tight against that shaft. And well, everything I've ever owned that's New Holland, this thing will back out. So I really am not a fan of the gib key, but oh well, I guess I gotta use it. Okay, after jiggling my hands off for the last 5 minutes, I've got it off of there. There it is. Huh, interesting. I think that bearing's a bad history anyways. Well, apparently, looks like I had some plastic wadded up in there, but that's twine. No, it's not. That's just hay. Hay material stuck in there. And all this thing does here anyway is it's just a shield. Keeps all the stuff away from the bearing. At least it's supposed to anyway. So we'll chuck that in there. Now, to the fun part. I gotta drive that thing out. I think that bearing's pretty well history anyway. But there we go. Means I got a new bearing over there. I don't think I need 2 bearings. And this one here, believe it or not, oh, I bet this is the cause of the problem. I'll bet this bearing is pretty well seized up and caused that thing to twist off. That would make sense to me, anyway. But yeah, all right. Well, I'm gonna drive. I don't even need to drive that thing off there. Junk. That bearing is the cause of the problem. It locked up and caused that thing to break off. Oh well, such is life. Now I got to tear all that shit off. Okay, of there. Encountered another problem with the baler. Nothing really too serious, just a real pain in the ass. I took care of the problem, but I had to crawl up in underneath there, you know, back in there. Apparently, somewhere along the line, you can see it hanging down there. That is a hose, an oil hose, grease hose, and it greases my stuffer or packer fingers. Well, not one of them, but two of them have been ripped off. So I have to get parts. But what I did end up doing was sticking a grease zerk in each one and greasing it, which it might, oh shit. It must have just happened because, well, there was still grease in there, so I'm not too upset. Sometimes you can go for a long time without knowing that those things are busted, and it happens from time to time. But anyways, we've got the new shaft in here. I got to tighten up the locking collar and run that gib key in. I'll show you how that goes. Timothy's busy putting on the bands.
The plastic hoops.
Yeah, the plastic guards. And when he's done with that, he'll tighten them all up, and then we'll show you running the thing. But I'll show you how I put those gib keys on there when I get to that point, and it's coming pretty quick. But I just got to tighten up the locking collar, nothing exciting on both sides, and then we'll do them both. All right, here we go. I got the gib key in place. Now, you have to make sure that your chain is lined up properly, or it will wear funny. And you kind of want to give it a little bit of extra room, because if you don't, this will slide across and cause trouble. So, you just smack that piece of shit in there like that. And that is how it goes. It's in there. Hopefully it's peened over a little bit. But yeah, no set key, nothing. There's nothing in there. I think this is kind of stupid myself. But, you know, hey, it's New Holland. Sometimes they do stupid shit just like the rest of us. But anyhow, there it is. Okay, back in business. Tim's got heart and ass disease again. Don't you? Anyway, looks like it's working. I'm gonna put some oil in that little container right there. And we're going to work before it rains. We're supposed to have rain for the first time in like 3 weeks. Alright, well, as you can see behind me, the baler is eating hay. The funny thing is, you look out here, my hood is wet and my windshield wiper is on intermittent because it's raining. Well, rainy weather and mulch hay. Yeah. Just adds to the weight. Anyhow, yeah, that concludes the repair of the front end of the BB9080. Hopefully it doesn't break for another 9,000, what is that, 9,091 bales. It broke at about 9,045, I think, something like that. But anyways, yeah, thanks for watching.